Nan Terry.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I am Nan Terry, a resident of Tarrant County. I have concerns about a couple of issues within your purview. One is variances of jail standards with a lifetime variances. These were found during an open records request for Tarrant County. Does the commission have a policy on these variances with no expiration? One of these variances is 45 years old. Surely we can create a policy to limit and discourage their continued use. In order to provide more transparency, could you require the state inspectors provide all variances, especially with those with no expiration on each and every inspection? Our sheriff has repeatedly stated the jail has met minimum standards, but the question is, do we really meet state standards when 2,100 beds have been granted by variances with no expiration? Julie Griffin will speak more about this later. Also, I'd like to mention my concern about the sheriff not complying with the Sander-Bland Act, which mandates that independent law enforcement agencies investigate jail deaths in custody. Several media outlets have reported that in October of 2021, Tarrant County stopped asking the Texas Rangers to investigate jail deaths in custody. The sheriff is investigating his own custody deaths, kind of like the fox guarding the hen house. If you go back and look at the cases since then, several scream out for independent investigation, especially those who have been in jail long enough to not have drugs in their possession yet died of a drug dose, or those that died of an accident. According to commission records, Edgar Villatora Alvarez died of an accident, yet the Texas AG reports he died of complications of dehydration. Even the AG custody report states the 4 major cases will conduct the internal investigation. Yet when reporters questioned Fort Worth PD, their response was that they don't do investigations of tests. You'll have other cases, trailing Warmy's mothers here. There's many deaths of detox. The Bureau of Prison has a guidance document managing substance withdrawal in jails, a legal brief. Mr. Jackson's listed as one, Russell Qualls, Chastity Bonner. These are all listed. There are 29 deaths have occurred since without an outside investigation. But back to the Bureau of Prisons, deaths from withdrawal are preventable, and jail administrators have a pressing responsibility to establish and implement withdrawal policy and protocols that will save lives and ensure compliance. I've given this information to Tarrant County, but nothing happened. Maybe you can make something happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Miss Julie Griffin.
Commissioners, my name is Julie Griffin. I come down to Austin from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm concerned about our Tarrant County Jail. The citizens of our county, especially the families who have lost loved ones in our jail, expect that you all will properly monitor and exercise your authority over its operations. We've learned that many departures from Texas Jail Commission standards are on record as variances with no expiration date. Some go back as far as 1977. One of particular note is in Tarrant County Correction Center going back to 1994, an addition of 648 beds constituting over 30% of the correction center's current capacity of 2114. This variance also results in significant deficiencies in square footage and communal and hygiene facilities in the affected areas. The variance was approved indefinitely. It does not have an expiration date. The variances also include numerous Belknap facility deficiencies in size of corridors, size of cells, lack of a day room, lack of remote control for unlocking rooms in an emergency, lack of administrative and booking space, lack of required safety vestibules for day rooms, lack of sinks in the infirmary, lack of lighting requirements in the mental housing area, and the correction center has variances for fire hose standpipes spacing such that not all areas are accessible with 100-foot hoses, and door stops that, quote, do not prevent accidental or purposeful injury in direct supervision areas. These go back to 1990 and 1991. Have these indefinite variances been remedied? Does the Commission of the Subcommittee on Variances have a policy on forever variances? When you all do an inspection of the Tarrant County Jail, do you review these particular departures from the standards? Is there any motivation encouraging the sheriff to correct the deficiencies on record? has the variance issued this past June for Green Bay facility, which expired October 18th, in which it was allowed to add 98 temporary beds, making each dormitory deficient in 1 toilet, 1 lav, shower table, and seat, been corrected? Why do you keep allowing variances when there is such a high rate of in-custody deaths and number of complaints at the Tarrant County Jail, especially a variance on additional beds and limited space? Could not this deficiency in particular contribute to deaths, to the turnover rate of staff, and inability to hire at the jail, which will inevitably impact staff to incarcerated ratios? Why does the Tarrant County Jail and its sheriff get to escape accountability for not meeting even minimum standards regarding safety in the physical plant spaces in these variances? The health, safety, and wellness of the incarcerated persons and staff alike absolutely depend on you all exercising your oversight. You, the Texas Commission on Jail Standards, are the only institution of relief here. Do not allow more open-ended variances. Require compliance. Please end these variances at Tarrant County Jail. Thank you.
Thank you. Becky DeLaune.
In 2017, the Sandra Bland Act became law and was lauded for bringing both transparency and accountability to the system of justice in Texas. One noted improvement was a mandate for independent law enforcement agency to investigate and file a thorough report on every in-custody death, preventing sheriffs from investigating themselves. Since 2021, the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office listed the Fort Worth Police Department as an independent third-party investigator of all deaths. In 2023, as the number of deaths in Sheriff Wayburn's jail were increasing and the cause of deaths disputed, the sheriff testified on behalf of a Senate bill that would make deaths from natural causes exempt from third-party investigations, which he found to be, and I quote, time-consuming and unnecessary. That bill did not pass. In 2024, Bolts magazine filed a public records request from the Fort Worth Police Department and found that more than 20 in-custody deaths over the past 3 years were not investigated by the Fort Worth Police Department. In actuality, detectives from the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office wrote up and filed related documents in the investigative report. Once it was completed, a Fort Worth Police Department spokesman reported it was reviewed, not investigated, by their department. It was a common practice for the sheriff's office, and it was against the law. This commission, Brandon Wood, was notified of the failure of the Tarrant County Jail to have in-custody deaths investigated by an independent law enforcement agency and responded by contacting Tarrant County and telling officials to fix the problem. The Tarrant County Sheriff's Office maintains they're not breaking the law. You are aware that more than 65 people have died in the Tarrant County Jail to date during Wayburn's tenure. Tarrant County taxpayers have spent millions of dollars in lawsuits, more than $3.5 million in the last 2 years. The failure to adequately investigate is characteristic of a culture of secrecy and cover-up. I'm asking you today to hold the sheriff responsible and accountable, to demand that he comply with the Sandra Bland Act that requires an independent law enforcement agency to investigate all in-custody deaths, that the sheriff makes these reviews available for all to review. Tarrant County citizens need your utmost support in this manner. We have nowhere else to go. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.